Okay, so we all think we know the story of Stingy Jack, right? The guy with the lantern, cursed to wander forever. But what if that whole story was just the setup? What if his damnation wasn't the end, but the launchpad for something else entirely? We're about to dive into how Jack twisted his eternal punishment into the ultimate power, becoming, well, a self-made god. Let's get into it.
Right off the bat, we have to throw out that image of a sad, pathetic ghost, because that is not our Jack. You see, when he was cast out, caught between everything, he didn't cry, he didn't scream, he laughed. And that one single act of pure defiance, that's the key to everything that comes next.
But before we get to the god, we've got to talk about the man. His original legend isn't just some spooky campfire tale, it's the very forge that created his incredible, kind of monstrous will.
As a mortal, Jack wasn't just a trickster. Oh no, he was an artist of deceit. His whole life was this game he had rigged from the very beginning, and man, did he love winning, no matter what it cost his soul.
He was so good at it, he even got the attention of the devil himself. So when hell finally showed up to collect, Jack didn't even flinch. He saw an angle. He tricked the devil into turning into a silver coin, and then trapped him. And just like that, boom, 10 more years of life. So a decade passes, the devil comes back, probably thinking he's got it this time. Nope. Jack was even sharper. He pulled another fast one, trapping the Prince of Darkness in an apple tree. And this time, the price for his freedom was absolute. The devil had to swear he would never claim Jack's soul. And here is the beautiful, tragic irony of it all. His soul was so warped by his schemes that heaven wanted nothing to do with him. But because of that brilliant deal he made, hell was legally obligated to turn him away too. He'd beaten the entire cosmic system, and in doing so, he basically erased himself from it. And so that was Jack's curse. Not hellfire, not damnation, but a kind of pure cosmic exile. He belonged absolutely nowhere. A ghost in the machine, trapped in the empty space between all worlds. And as one final screw you, the devil tossed him a single burning coal from the fires of hell. But Jack, ever the pragmatist, popped it inside a hollowed-out turnip he was eating to make a lantern. This little light was supposed to be a symbol of his eternal curse, or at least that's what the devil thought. This right here, is the moment everything flips. Because in that endless, lawless darkness, Jack had a revelation. He realized his curse, well, it was actually the ultimate freedom. This is where the punishment becomes the foundation for his power. Just think about it for a second. In a place where there's no heaven and no hell, there are no rules, no laws. Jack saw that all these big concepts, good and evil, reward and punishment, that was all just the language of slaves, a framework for people who need a master. And he was finally truly free. The void wasn't his prison cell. It was a blank page. This chart really nails his incredible shift in perspective. What anyone else would call a lonely, miserable purgatory, he saw as infinite freedom. A barren, worthless soul? To him, it was a clean slate, a cosmic tabula rasa. And that cursed coal from hell? For Jack, that wasn't a punishment. That was the first spark of self-ignition. He was literally making his own light in the void. And this is the terrifying, amazing truth that Jack discovered. A soul that belongs nowhere can become anything. He wasn't bound by destiny or prophecy or anyone else's rules anymore. He was totally free to forge himself into something the universe had never even conceived of. But, a philosophy is one thing. Having real cosmic power is something else entirely. So how did he make that leap? Well, it all kicked off when he ran into another cosmic rebel wandering in the dark. So, as he's drifting through this endless void, Jack stumbles upon the shattered essence of a seraph, one of the most powerful kinds of angels that had been unmade, basically obliterated, for defying heaven. Jack looked at the remains of this fallen rebel, and he didn't see a cautionary tale. He saw a kindred spirit. Now pay close attention, because this is the most critical part of the story. A lesser soul would have been terrified. Maybe they would have prayed to it. Jack didn't either. In an act of pure, predatory will, he reached out and he consumed the angel's power. He didn't ask for it. He didn't bargain for it. He took it. But here's the kicker. That divine, holy power didn't purify him. It didn't make him good.
Instead, it merged with the very core of who he was, his bottomless greed, his cunning, his self-interest. And that fusion, that was the real explosion. The single, sad little coal in his turnip lantern erupted into a roaring green inferno. A brand new being was born in that flash of light. The result of that fusion was a total, radical transformation. Jack was no longer a cursed spirit. He had ascended. He had become something else, a being who lives completely beyond the old rules of good and evil. This new form has a name: the corrupted Übermensch. Now, the Übermensch is this philosophical idea of a person who goes beyond old moralities to create their own values. Jack's version is that, but seen through a much, much darker lens. He didn't just create new values. He broke every metaphysical chain and transcended the entire system.
First thing he did, he dropped the name Stingy Jack. That was a reminder of his petty mortal life. Through sheer force of will, he forged a new identity for himself, one that actually reflected his newfound absolute power. Jack Sovereign, the monster unbound.
And this new name came with some frankly terrifying new powers. And what's so incredible is how each one is a twisted reflection of his original curse. That eternal wandering, that's now the godlike ability to travel anywhere in creation, instantly. That simple turnip lantern, it's a weapon of unimaginable raw power. He even commands a new type of hellfire that can literally burn ideas and concepts out of existence. He's not a servant of hell. He's a sovereign sorcerer who plays by his own rules.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Jack's story just completely flips the script on power. He started out as a cosmic joke, a footnote in the history of the damned, and he clawed his way up by himself to become a literal force of nature. He's now described as a predator of the absolute, a being that doesn't just exist in reality, it actively hunts possibility itself. And it leaves us with this truly chilling thought. Maybe a will that is completely free from morality, from any law, from any consequence, is the only thing in the universe that can truly forge its own magnificent and monstrous destiny.